Join us for the 6th annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/VulcansMakeADifference to make your gift.
going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex for today's PSAC West matchup between the Seton Hill Griffins and your California Vulcans. My name is John Sape. Alongside me here today for the first time, Mr. Owen Leeson. Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. A little bit nervous. We're having wonderful weather this evening, and I think this will be a great matchup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, I think the last time we were here, it was about 100 degrees, so it's definitely cooled off. It feels a lot better, and it's I think maybe some better conditions to play some soccer here today.
Absolutely. I'm sure the girls are quite hungry to get out there.
And I think both teams are as well. And coming into today's game, both teams sitting at 1-2 overall. Both of them winning their first games, but losing 2 straight. Both of them looking for their first in-conference win to start the season. And I think kind of on paper, both teams looking about pretty even. So it's going to be a tough task for both teams.
Yeah, last time out, Cal U played, or Penn West California played Edinburgh, which I think that they were the better team that game, but they lost 2-0. So this game will be the chance to right their path and put their best foot forward. So I'm really excited about this one.
I am as well, and I think you can say that a lot of the times. I always feel like I feel like it happens a lot where you're sitting there, you're watching your favorite team, and you're like, man, we played so well, we dominated the whole time, and somehow we ended up losing, or we didn't get the result out of the game that maybe you should have expected with the way you were playing. And like you said, maybe this time for California, it'll go right for them.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so. I think last game, like for me, what really frustrated me was that Edinburgh was able to use their physicality, and they just got out strength throughout the entire game. When I think in reality, Cal U has a much better technical and tactical formation, and I think they have much better players than what they often play as. And I'm really excited to see how they go about it today.
And they have a tough task ahead of them in the Griffins. The Griffins going to start the first half going from left to right in the all-black with the red accents on the jerseys, and the Vulcans going to go from right to left with the all-white jerseys with the red accents on them as well. And I think the big story between both teams before we get started is kind of just the lack of offensive production to start the game to start the season from both teams. Both teams struggling to find the back of the net, and the Griffins are going to get us underway. Long ball to start it on that diagonal, but it's going to fall in favor of the Vulcans.
Yeah, I'd like to keep an eye on this game. I think my player of the match last game was Hannah Morton, number 18, the center back. And I'm really excited to see how she can continue her good performance, giving us good structure in the back. But she had a fabulous game last game, number 18 in the middle.
Seton Hill starting off with a decent line share of the possession all the way back to the keeper. The Vulcans just attempting to luring them up the field a little bit.
Yeah, just going back and forth, being real patient with it. There's no reason to rush here. We're just like a minute-ish into the game. You know, you just got to feel out your opponent. Can't force anything right now.
Feel it out. Force them to make the mistakes.
Yeah, Cal U's been way more aggressive than I think than last game. Last game they let Edinburgh take it to them for the first 10 minutes, and they let Edinburgh set the pace of the game. And I think this structure, coming at them, being hungry, is the way to go about it. When I think you have Bickhart's doing great out there.
Yeah, Bickhart wits it high up the field, and her and Venetia just not on the same page there, as Bickhart won not one but 2 tackles, and maybe could have taken the shot herself, but tried to play it off, tried to pass it off to Venetia, and could have had her in, but I don't think Venetia was quite ready for it.
Nah, sometimes it pays to be greedy, you know? Like when you're out there, you put all this work in, go get your meal, go get your dinner, have some fun out there.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the unselfishness gets a lot of the applause, but sometimes it's a bit unwarranted, because I feel like a lot of the times if you just take it yourself, as the Vulcans pick up a quick foul in the middle of the field, and the Griffins going to get us back underway with this long diagonal towards the right-hand side. Carr now getting past her defender, and Carr trying to get to the byline. Her cross straight at we met previously the Vulcan Athlete of the Week and the PSAC West, believe the Defensive Athlete of the Week for her performances.
Indeed. She's been great this year. Absolutely brilliant, providing a great foundation for her for the 4 girls in front of her to play. So she's been great.
And I think it's safe to say that she was one of the Vulcans' better players in the last season, as the Vulcans able to maintain possession, and the ball is now out to the left-hand side. Thomas playing an infield, nice 1 or 2 touches on the inside. It's going to fall to Venetia now. Venetia trying to get around, quick shot, going to come off the defender and out for the first corner of the game.
It's really exciting for me because the last 2 home games, Maya Hackinson has started, the freshman from Sweden. But in this game, Instead of starting her, Pete Curtis has gone with Bella Hilbrelter on the, I think, right flank for the Penn West California. And this is going to be really interesting. Experience over youth.
It's going to be Romace over to take the corner here for Cal, the junior out of Germany. Stepping over the set piece, the in-swing with the right foot. Deep cross to the back post, and it's going to come off of a Vulcan player after Seton Hill tried to clear it away. So not dealt with entirely well by Seton Hill.
No, absolutely not. And I think that was a good first corner. You know, you saw the goal open up. You didn't quite finish, but it was there. It was there for the taking. It was a good corner.
And Seton Hill playing out of the back, very dangerous game, but able to escape. Not quite yet. I guess they're still deciding to play it around in the back for a little bit, but it's going to be Pazworski and Adams moving it around in the back, and the Vulcans maintaining their structure, not having a player step out of place too far, and making sure Seton Hill play every pass as good as possible.
Oh, absolutely. You were absolutely right. They did not lose possession, and you can commend their patience back there under heavy pressure from California. They've been great so far. But I do greatly enjoy the pressure. Take it to your opponent. Don't be patient. Don't be stagnant. Be hungry.
Yeah, you don't want to let them play around too much, but you also need to know when to make the risk, when to send a player forward. As the Vulcans playing around with the ball in the midfield, it's going to land at the feet of Cal. A few players up front. It's going to be Bickhart trying to play an infield ball, swept high up in the air, and Bickhart able to come down and win the header.
Bickhart for me is a kind of a fascinating player because on the team sheets is typically listed as a defender, but I've noticed that Pete Curtis tends to enjoy playing her as like I don't want to say defensive winger, if you will, but an aggressive winger that plays really well when it comes to pressing. I think her decision making will grow as she matures into the game, but when in terms of pressing, she's phenomenal at it. Number 2 for Penn West.
And Bromley there for California with the first shot of the game, and kind of just a pot shot trying to test out Padziorko in net there for Seton Hill, and the Griffins able to deal with that cleanly. Now it's their chance to have an attack of their own. Nice link-up play on the far side, but the Vulcans with some great defending able to get that one out.
Yeah, the duo of Katie Byrne and Hannah Morton as our 2 center backs is it kind of a great dichotomy between the 2 players. You have Hannah Morton, who is this great, has immense maturity in the back, very patient with the ball. When you have Katie Byrne, who is like this firecracker in the back. She's really great at being aggressive, knowing when to step. Sometimes it bites her in the butt, but I really do enjoy it a great deal. She's great at what she's doing.
Well, that's how they balance each other out. One of them has to be the super aggressive type, and you see it work a lot as the level of play gets higher and higher. You see plenty of times, I think of like at Real Madrid with when you had like Ramos and Pepe, where Ramos was the super calculated one in the back, and you had Pepe, the firecracker, getting in there making the tackles, and I think both players are able to play off each other pretty well.
We're trying to think of another great matchup. You had PK and he had great long hair for Barcelona. Puyol, indeed. That was another great duo in the La Liga there. They had Real Madrid and Barcelona had some great duos in the back there, like for that entire decade.
Yeah, both teams very good, and so far a pretty quiet couple of opening minutes here for both teams. 38-38 left to go here in the first half of play. It's going to be Thomas on the throw here for California.
One of my favorite players to watch on Penn West is 22, Lorena Ramos from Germany. As the old saying goes with like Sergio Busquets, if you watch her, you see the entire game. But if you watch the game, you don't see her. She's got great positioning out there, and she loves to float in between the attack and the defense. She's a great link-up player.
Yeah, just one of those players that highly goes unnoticed, but I feel like if you would talk to any of her teammates, they would more than likely tout her as being one of the best players on the team for a reason. Is her and Bromley able to break out of the press, and Vulcans able to work their way up the field nicely with a couple of attackers on this left-hand side. The ball forward towards Venezia. Venezia cuts back in on the left foot. Venezia passing it off, shot in the middle, and it goes in! Just like that, the Vulcan strike, and you said it, it's Romes able to get in there and pick up a goal for California. Quick lead, 1-0 with 37:43.
Yeah, if I had a daughter or a son and I wanted them to learn how to play defensive mid, I would come and have them watch Ramos. She's so patient out there. She knows when to be and where to be at all the right times, and she just That and Veniza. She didn't strike first with that shot. She was real patient with it, and she did a brilliant job with a great cutback pass to Ramos there in the middle.
And that was the time where the unselfishness came back in a good way, because, like you said, she could have taken it on herself, had a nice chop back on that fake shot, brought it back onto her stronger right foot, and she just didn't take the shot, passed it off, and Ramos right there on the scene to send that one home, and the Vulcans with a quick 1-0 lead. Yeah, 37-15 left to go here in the first half. California, kind of a back and forth in the middle of the field. Not a whole ton of pressure from either team, and the Vulcans kind of just strike out of nowhere. The fight for it in the middle of the field. It's going to be Bromley and California coming away with it. And right now the Vulcans with a lot more control over the game they'd previously had. It seems to just kind of go back and forth, and now the Vulcans looking a lot more settled into the game so far.
Yeah, this formation, I think once they get clicking, and I think as they grow into it as the season goes along, I think they have an immense potential once they learn that like they have the ability to control the ball, to be patient with it, and to feel themselves out. So, and we're finally starting to see that with this game. I think they have the ability just to take it to their opponents. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of teams, especially if players are from the local area, I'm not going to, as one that played a lot of soccer around here myself, a lot of the teams around here not entirely the highest level of competition possible, so you see a lot of the times players struggling to be able to maintain good possession and make good choices when they have the ball. And I feel like when you're in a structure like this, as the Vulcans now on the counterattack once again, it's super important to be able to make these good decisions on the ball. As Venetia making plenty of them, working her way into the box, trying to get to the byline. That one's going to get kicked out by Seton Hill, another corner going the way of Cal.
Yeah, like I think a good way to put it is there's this decision making comes with experience. And last year, I believe Penn West, California, lost 9 seniors to graduation. So they have an extremely young team. I believe Karina Wilkins is the only senior on this team this year, and everyone else is either juniors, sophomores, or freshmen. So I think as they grow into the season,
Vulcan corner nearly makes its way into the back of the net, and that's the second time that Seton Hill hasn't really been able to deal with these set pieces. The Vulcans attacking them on that back post, trying to get the ball to, far as possible, and no one is winning that first ball there for Seton Hill, and it's falling, and that one nearly made its way into the back of the net.
Real aggressive but tenacious corners, and we'll see if they are able to finally finish one off here as the game goes along.
It'll be interesting to see if Seton Hill make the adjustment of making sure Padziorko comes out of the net a bit more, trying to just fight for it in the air, try to force that ball away from her net. And so far she's let a few of them go, but with some of the Vulcans players on their team, and especially with their talents, I think if you give them a few more opportunities, they're not going to really let those ones slip.
Absolutely not. That's something Emily Weemet, our goalkeeper, is fabulous at. She's great at defending corners. She has an immense amount of courage that even I don't have inside that box. She does a fabulous job against corners. That's her area, and she makes it known.
Yeah, with a lot of goalkeepers good at many things of the game, but just having that, not only the positional awareness, but also just the courage and the want to stand your ground, make the box your own, and force players to kind of conform to you, as the Vulcans winning a couple of strong tackles in a row.
That was a very solid tackle by the Galopper out there. Very good.
Bighart able to get this one forward towards the corner, and Venetia with the chase, and Seton Hill able to clear this one just down the field. That one's going to pop off the head of Thomas, but California still piling on the pressure. Every time Seton Hill is able to get the ball inside the Vulcans' half, it's not really going into any dangerous areas inside of the channels. A lot of it's going towards the corners, and California able to deal with it quickly, as Thomas going to just leave a leg in there on the back of Seton Hill. That was Carr going down for the foul, so Seton Hill maybe with a chance to relieve a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it was one of those good tackles that it's not legal, absolutely not, but it's one as a coach you applaud, because it's not a card-worthy tackle, but it lets the other team know that, hey, this is my area, and I'm right here, and you're going to have to get through me to get to where you want to go. So that was a very good tackle by the freshman.
It shows the team that she's there, she's waiting for it, and also allows your team to get back and back in position.
Yeah, that little extra 10-second break goes a long way when you're constantly running out here for 90 minutes.
And is a lot, as Seton Hill yet again just cannot seem to get out of their own half, and Bromley, great under possession, able to turn it around and get it back to her defense.
This is just some great triangular passing here by Penn West.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at just, like you said, forming these triangles, having players available, and whenever they're able to get the ball on the outside, trying to force the overlaps and trying to force the odd man situation on the outside, as once again the Vulcans win the ball back. Thomas, nice turn to get herself to the outside. Venetia trying to find a man in the middle and able to do so. Vulcans with some nice link-up play. That pass just left a little bit too short.
With Christina Sims, I believe she's a junior this year, serving suspension this game. Elwood is a slightly different demographic of player in terms of play style. Where Sims is much more creative with dribbling, Elwood I think is a slightly better passer and quicker, and she has much faster decision making. And I'm very curious to see how the game plays out with number 21 there in the middle for California instead of Sims.
Now Seton Hill finally with their chance. As the ball low and dealt with cleanly by the Vulcans, and the Vulcans with this pressure are able to keep two players up, as the Vulcans doing a good job up front, able to win the foul. I believe it was Gilberto there on the far side. In California, even though they were pinned back there for just a second, able to get it out cleanly, able to win a foul, and able to get their whole team up the field.
They have a slightly more, if you will, senior front line this game with Maya Hackinson being out, and I think it allows for the defense to know that the outlets that they're going to be passing to are slightly more experienced and a little bit more knowledgeable on how to pick up those scrappy, I want to say 50-50 fouls and give them a break.
Seton Hill able to find the space and able to work their way back down the field, and great defending by California. That's Byrne in the back, able to deal with it well, but left that ball just a little bit too short. But the Vulcans able to come away with it. A few fouls in a row, and that one is going to go the way of Seton Hill, as it looked like. I thought maybe Bickard got there just first, but maybe left a trailing leg in there, as it was Maver for Seton Hill who got caught on the ground right there.
Yep, the ref did a very good job of letting the play develop there, didn't get in the way, and then finally had to blow his whistle when he thought it went a little bit too far. So that was good refereeing there.
It was very hard to draw the line on when to keep it and when to allow the play to run, and I think he did a good job. Seton Hill with their chance to attack, and we met coming out very quickly and able to make the read right off the foot, comes out, collects it, and stifles the Seton Hill attack.
Yeah, not as great as a catch as Garrett Wilson this weekend for the Jets, but still a very remarkable one. It was a quick decision. Again, it's that decisiveness in the back with your goalkeeper that allows you as a defender to breathe and to find clarity back there. All right, I'm gonna let this ball go. Weemet's gonna come out and get it. I know that it's a given.
Yeah, and that's just and that is something that you see build a lot over the course of a season when you have a goalkeeper that is strong and commanding in their presence, and the back line that not only trusts them, but they have that mutual trust where the goalkeeper knows that their back line is going to do their job, and the back line knows that even if they do make a mistake, they're going to have a keeper back there that is going to keep them in more games than not. And so far we met this season in particular, building off of a terrific last season, has continued to do that time and time again here for California.
Unfortunately, I was not able to watch her all last season, so I'm fascinated to know that she had a great last season as well. So this is it's good news to me, but I'm greatly enjoying knowing that she's carried on great form this year.
And the Vulcans doing just a great job at finding their own teammates. I feel like once you move further and further up the field, it's very hard to, as the defense tightens up, to find these find players. But the Vulcans able to just get into these spaces where Seton Hill are unable to do so, and the frontline play where players moving back and forth, just trying to create these pockets of space. The ball is going to fall kindly for Venetia as her shot blocked. It's going to call him all the way out to Thomas, and Thomas pass infield. Vulcans going for the 1-2, but just a little bit of a slip, and Seton Hill just trying to get out of the back here, and finally able to do so, but still within their own half, and now they have their chance to break down this left-hand side ball forward, but that one just way too much on it. I wouldn't be surprised if California just let this one roll out of play.
And indeed, they do. For a lot of these like inward into the field passes, I've noticed that California is looking not to come to the ball; they're shooting the defender, and sometimes that works. But I would like to see them in the future, maybe in like next 10, 15 minutes, instead of like shielding the player, go towards the ball and try to either get fouled or actually gain possession of the ball and work forward from there. So we'll see if they develop into that. But at the same time, the shielding isn't failing at all.
A bit of a short pass left that time by Thomas as referee waves the flag on the near side. It's going to be a free kick, I believe, going the way of Seton Hill. 27-15 left here in the first half of play. Still plenty of time in this game, but the Vulcans struck quickly with a goal by Lorena Romis. I'm trying to do my best to say it correctly.
It's a difficult name, like for sure. I totally get you. I remember as a kid, I would play NBA 2K with my friends, and they would like pull up like random names, and I'd be like, "No way, I had no idea." And they would like the next day during lunch, they would like all make fun of me because I can't pronounce like names to save my life. But as I got better, as I've got older, I've got better at it. But it takes a long time.
Yeah, but Romy is able to get the Vulcans on the board to start, and since then it's been all California to start. Seton Hill have had their chances, or at least have had some glimpses of hope. Haven't really been able to strike quite yet in terms of shots and trying to test We Met out at all. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if within the next few minutes, if Seton Hill continues to just take on this Vulcan pressure, maybe just a quick pot shot from the outside just to keep We Met in check, and the Vulcans able to clear that one out of bounds, and Seton Hill with a throw-in on that far side, deep inside Vulcan territory, trying to get it through, but California right there on the door, able to get it away. Nice turn inside the box from Parga. The ball's going to end up out of bounds. Going to be a Vulcan goal kick.
That was, I would say, that was Seton Hill's first true shot of the game. Like, first chance, you're like, all right, maybe there's an expected goal differential in there somewhere. But so far, I would say We Met's had a pretty easy day at the office. Nothing too crazy to do. Last game against Edinburgh, she had like one save I remember taking a note on that I was like, that's a lifeline save right there.
Parga's shot, that one's blocked, and it's going to fall kindly. Parga with the second chance, that one's blocked again, with the Vulcans bail themselves out after some sloppy passing out of the back. And Seton Hill now kind of maybe see their lifeline here a little bit as the pass on that left-hand side, trying to find a Molitoris all the way up the field. That one just goes out of play.
It'll be interesting to see which coach decides to do substitutions first. Where I thought for sure for the first like 25 minutes or 20 minutes of this game that Pete Curtis would be the second one to do substitutions10 California's been. But in the last 10 minutes, California's been under a great deal of pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to do a substitution or two here. California would be wise not to forget their ability.
Yeah, California seems like they're doing a lot of it to themselves as they have the ball in the back and they're just misplacing a couple passes, letting Seton Hill come on to them, pressure them. And it's going to be Moyer on the far side for the corner for Seton Hill. The first-year coach, Riley Butler, for Seton Hill. Like you said, maybe just trying to fill the game out before making some of these substitutions as Moyer's corner kick goes all the way to the back post, and that one finds its way in. And we saw Seton Hill not deal with the corner kicks very well, but California not dealt with that one at all, and that one ends up in the back of the net.
That was a great placement of the ball there in the corner. Made us eat us words from earlier. Hear all of our talk about how great I think California's been at defending corners, and look at that. They give up a corner here. Deadly in-swinging ball to the far post, and someone was there to finish it. Gave us a little taste of our own medicine there. Great job, Seton Hill. Great goal.
Yeah, and just like that, it can go from a complete Vulcan domination to a tie game, and that's going to be number 9, Emma Rain, the winner of the name game today. The midfielder, the senior out of Irwin, Pennsylvania, able to pick up the goal there and tie things up. 23:50 left here in the first half, and it seemed like Vulcans, after the first goal, kind of went into cruise control a little bit. It seemed like they got that first goal and they felt comfortable, and they haven't been able to take it to Seton Hill like they were in that opening 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, cruise control is an interesting thing where, like, my Subaru Forester has got cruise control, right? And so I'll go on a long car ride, I'll set 85, and it's nice and easy. You know, you're cruising along. Then I'll switch over to my girl's Kia Forte. She doesn't have cruise control. Man, without cruise control, your foot.
And another dangerous ball. And that one almost ended up at the feet of Parga, but we met with the great goalkeeping, able to come out and collect. And I think the Vulcans nearly caught lacking once again, but we met with the great awareness.
Yeah, without cruise control, your foot gets tired, but you're in control. You know, there's some beauty to it. Like, you're connected to the car. You're connected to the game. It's not easy driving without cruise control, but it's worthwhile. There's something that makes you fall in love with driving again, and I hope that Penn West doesn't fall into the cruise control trap here.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever driven with my cruise control. So
well, there you go.
So
no way.
I always just like to have that focus.
Okay, that connection to your car, the connection to the road, I dig it.
And California just getting their own treatment back to them. Like you said, they didn't deal with the corner, and it seems like for the last 10 minutes or so have been able to get out of their own half. Like Seton Hill was able to do that much in the beginning of the game, and it's going to be a header out by California. That one came off of Gilberto out of play. Seton Hill with another throw, and Seton Hill, I think, kind of cautiously keeping three defenders back inside of their own half, but as the formations shift and as their players are under a ton of pressure, starting to move their players up the field a bit more.
And you can see, like, retroactively, in almost reaction to that, while their defenders have come forward, our forwards have come deeper. And it's created, our outlets are much further compacted into our defense, which, like, sure, it creates a better defensive structure, but there it is with Gibraltar. You have to pressure that, like, that backwards ball there by Seton Hill. You have to make them feel fear again within their loins.
Yeah, we saw in that opening minutes whenever California had a ton of the pressure, they were able to keep 2-3 forwards up. So whenever the ball was cleared up the field, there was a ton of outlets there for California.
Whenever someone trips over the ball like that, I always get nervous. I had one of my good high school teammates tripped over a ball in practice and broke his arm doing that. So when the Galopper over there, I think she's a freshman or a sophomore outside back, tripped over the wall, I got nervous. But it's a good thing she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just happens. It's not a rainy day here. I feel like it's been pretty dry, but just with all the playing and just a little bit of the humidity, just got enough on the top of the ball to slip and fall over. And it looks like, I think she's definitely all right. But that it is a scary sight to see because it's always things like that, just the freak accidents.
It's a snap of a finger. All right, we have another corner here for Seton Hall. Can Penn West California defend it? I guess we'll find out. Part two.
There's a Seton Hill player right on top of We Met, and We Met comes out with a punch, but the ball goes right back to her in the header, right into the hands of We Met. Great keeping. Came out with the punch, and it was rain again. Right there, nearly scored a second, but We Met able to get back after the punch, get in front of the net, and able to collect the shot from Rain.
Earlier during the game, you mentioned this thing called the name game. What exactly is the name game?
I think it's my own personal game where it's which player, like the players on both teams that have the coolest sounding name, and I feel like that one, it just does something for me, as like.
It just rolls off the tongue?
Yeah, Emma Rain, like if you hear that, like that's
a good name.
You're like you listen to that name, you're like, man, that is a pretty solid name.
Yeah, she could be my lawyer. Yeah, that kind of a name. That, and also I was thinking, like, the name game's also just a player that, like, you felt the need to say her name a lot. Like, she's been in the right places multiple times here for Seton Hill. She's been one of the key offensive players, so just retroactively you've had to say her name a lot. Yeah,
she's always in and around the area, and she's one, like you said, that maybe forces you to mention her name, not going to go quietly or appear quietly into the game, and so far made her presence known, scored a goal, nearly scored a second right there. It's going to be an infraction on the far side, going to go the way of California, and like I said, it's been about 20 minutes of Seton Hill just kind of full-on pressure, and California maybe now finally have their chance to break out of it a little bit.
Yeah, this is their first shot. Not first shot, but first, like, opportunity to finally get the ball with some possession into Seton Hill's half in the last, like, 15 minutes here. It's been a game of very black and white performances where, like, the first 15 minutes, all California. Last 15 minutes, all Seton Hill.
There hasn't been sort of that middle ground where one team or both teams going back and forth. It's just been one or the other, and so far both teams were able to capitalize on their chances with the lion's share of the pressure, and now it's a chance for one of these two teams to kind of reclaim that pressure once again.
I like this by Hannah Moore in here. The game is tied. You've been under pressure a lot. There's no reason just to honk the ball up the field. Take your time. Take a breath. Draw yourself in and be like, all right, guys, let's take a breather here. Let's build off of this and let's build forward. We got this.
Yeah, I feel like when you do that, when you just calm the game down a bit, it just allows the players to focus a lot more and allows you as a team to just get back to the structure that was working so well, because it seems like once you're rushing around, it's harder to try to find try to stay in formation like you were. And now California able to break down this left side with Thomas. Thomas infield pass, that one just behind Venetia. A fight for it in the midfield is going to be won by Seton Hill, but California win it straight back. Thomas trying to get that one forward again, but headed away. His second chance, just trying to get it forward. Maybe could have just calmed it down a little bit, just held on, but trying to play that one forward, just trying to get the Vulcans to break through, and a bit of an awkward play right there, just on the near side between Ramais and Carr, and it's going to end up in a free kick going California's way. And now the Vulcans have their chance to get a couple players in the box and have Ramais here just try to float it in.
This is a great, mature, experienced play by Romy. She knew the defender was on her back. She knew that, okay, one of two things are going to happen here. Either the ball's going to roll out, my team gets a throw in, or the girl behind me tries to foul me and tries to get the ball. Second thing happened, a foul, and now you got a free kick. Great
defending by California, as it looked like Parga trying to get around on that outside, but it's going to end up going out of play. Seton Hill's advantage in that time with a throw in. And a fight for it on that far side. The ball bouncing between a couple of players in California under possession now, but Gilberto just trying to just muscle her way out, and it's going to end up going off of a Griffin player out of play.
So I believe we have coming into the game here, we have Gibbs on the right wing, and who is 16?
It's going to be Hansen coming into the game for Cal. So Gibbs and Hansen for the Vulcans coming into the game. And looks like California were the first ones to make the switch, and great turn by Bromley, and Bromley now trying to get the ball forward. That one left just a bit behind Venetia. Now great win on the far side by DeGlopper. Just going back and forth, just trying to twist and turn, get her way to that, just trying to round the corner. Unable to do so. That one ends up out of play, and it's going to be a substitution made by the Griffins, as out of the game goes Rain, and into the game comes Navina Gojak, coming in, the senior out of Belgrade, Serbia, coming into the game.
Wow, a long way from home. That's what Nikola Jokic is.
He is Serbian.
He's Serbian indeed. Well, good year for them.
A bit of an awkward ball as that one nearly floated through, and fell down after she collected it. Couldn't quite tell if she tripped over there by her own, or if Rotoli there for Seton Hill made some contact, but there wasn't really any fighting afterwards, so it looked like she might have just fell on her own. Great headed win that time, and the fall forward by Hansen, able to just make an immediate impact and just breathe in a little bit of energy into this Vulcan team. As Seton Hill under a ton of pressure, great move by Adams, able to work her way out of the back.
Yeah, I don't know if we're seeing a change of formation here by Pete Curtis, because you brought in 16, he was Hansen, who's a defender, right? Also a junior. In the beginning of the game, he had Bickhart and Kaylin Thomas on the same flank, both freshmen. So the freshman experiment I thought went very well. Bickhart did a great job pressing for her first shift, and Kaylin Thomas did a great job backing her up. But a time here and there, you saw Kaylin Thomas rush a pass, or Bickhart not have a great decision made after she won the ball off the press. Now with the more experienced Hansen coming in, who's actually a defender on the team sheet, so I wonder if they're going to two strikers up front. We'll be very curious here. Or maybe more of a deep-lying false nine here with number 10 in the middle.
A couple of Vulcans leaving in a late challenge. It looks like the referee going to stop play and going to call Venetia over for a word, as she just tripped Adams over in the back. No card brandish, luckily for Venetia, but the warning is as like a few more of them is going to result in some time off the field.
Yeah, like that was like your second strike. Let's not do a third. You know, I don't want to give you a yellow, but I will if I have to. It's a classic talk. This ref's been very good, very patient.
And just like that, the handball in and around the Vulcan area, some dangerous position for Seton Hill to get a shot on target here. 13:30 left in the first half. And like we talked about with a few of those substitutions, maybe it's just a chance for California to just slow things down, keep it under control, and just try to at least keep the game level going into half. But in a position like this, an indirect free kick right outside the box, there's chances for anything to happen. So the Vulcans setting up a 4-person wall, and we met in net trying to collect it. And Seton Hill going with kind of a different approach, having all of their players all the way on that far side of the box, just trying to make this run towards the back post. Low driven ball straight through, and that one kicked out of play. Good work set piece. Obviously something practiced a lot by Seton Hill, and it nearly was able to pay off, but California do their job, able to get back and able to clear it.
As a defender, I would have been very confused there during that free kick. That was a great setup there. I would have for sure thought a deep out-swinging ball to the far post, but not just a nice, smooth, clean ball to the penalty kick.
Yeah, just right on the ground, which is what caught everyone off guard. Another corner and another open header, and that time it was Carr, and Carr just left completely unmarked. And I think we can't really see her face, but I feel like if I had to guess, probably a bit disappointed because she had all the time in the world. No one was around her, and I feel like she probably could have done way better than that.
She could have went to the library, read a book, and not even taken it out. She had all the time in the world. She was brilliant there. Good. I don't know who delivered it. I wasn't able to see from my angle, but it was a very good delivery there by Seton Hill.
Yeah, it was straight there, just right onto the penalty spot, and right on top of Carr's forehead, and I think just maybe misjudged it a little bit as the Vulcans trying to get their own attack going. And Gibbs giving chase, and Seton Hill smartly just let the ball roll out of play.
So far this season, I think Gibbs has been a very good, impactful sub. She's very good at being like I want to say tattooing the other team with bruises, but she's very good at letting you know that, hey, I'm going to press you, and you're going to feel it tonight. You know, like when you go to bed, you're like, ouch, I felt that one. Like, that's Gibbs right there.
Yeah, so. Just like the maybe not much like the microwave player that you'd see like come off the bench in the NBA, but just like one where you bring them in, they're high energy, high physicality, they're doing all the things that a tired defense does not really want to deal with, and doing it very well for California.
It's almost like Pete Curtis tells her, hey, look, we got 10 minutes left, give them hell. Give them a good time.
Yeah, just run them down fairly, of course. Don't commit don't pick up any cards, but make your presence known on the field, and I feel like she's done a good job with that so far. Seton Hill going to make another substitution of their own. It's going to be Carr, who just had that chance moments ago, coming off the field for Seton Hill, and into the game now for them is number 52, Riley Baker, the freshman out of Williamstown, New Jersey, going to come into the game here for Seton Hill for the last 10 minutes or so.
The endurance of Bromley and Romeus is always is outstanding. They play for like a solid 85 to 90% of the game, every single game, right in those two like pivot of the defensive mids.
Seton Hill have a chance of their own. Great defending for the Vulcans, and a great turn made by Byrne, who was able to not only recover but try to get it out. But the Vulcans able to win it back again, and California getting the fans on their feet a little bit, just trying to pick up that energy. And Byrne did a great job to recover. It was Ratoli just in that channel trying to track it down, but Byrne able to get in front of her and able to just turn around her.
Yeah, I thought that Marina there, the number 10 for California, did a great job of, like, when she received that ball, instead of, like, rushing upfield, like, when you're already outnumbered, she was like, all right, slow it down, let's pass it back, let's gain control for the last 9 minutes. Unfortunately, the secondary ball wasn't able to find its target, but still, it was a great idea just to calm down the game and actually gain real possession.
Great defending once again from California on that far side. I feel like if there's anything we've said in the last 10-15 minutes or so, it's been some just very strong Vulcan defending. as Weemat going to be under some pressure after that back pass, but able to get this one out, but not as far as the Seton Hill midfield, and Vulcan's able to just leave one leg into it. Thomas able to keep it up the field, and she has plenty of grass in front of her. Looks like she's going to take it. But Seton Hill sending 4 players over her way, just trying to get it forward, and maybe just not the right play, but California able to get it back once again. Under a ton of pressure now, and as DeGlopper able to get that one to the far side as she's getting knocked down to the ground.
Again, we saw Gibbs there, quite tenacious. She won that 50-50 ball and pushed it back to our midfield. You reacted to my reaction over here, which was inaudible, which was like, oh, not that pass. But Gibbs made it into a good pass. It was a great effort there by Gibbs.
Yeah, 8:15 left here in the first half of play. And so far, I'd say it's been about 20% Seton Hill or 20% California, maybe 70% Seton Hill as the game is going further and further along. And it's just been, I think if you're California, I feel like you would not necessarily be happy with the way that the last half of the game has gone so far in terms of just like not having your own chances. So they're going to make their way past the midfield marker. But going into the game level, going into the half level is always a good thing, as Venetia trying to find Thomas and left that one just a bit too straight for her.
I think it was. I think it's been like, 20%, Vulcans. I'd say solid like 50% C&Ho. But that other like 30%, it's been like a scrum. It's been like this ugly mess in the middle that's worked for pretty much neither team. But yet at the same time, it hasn't worked in the detriment of either team either. They're just figuring out each other still. And we'll see how this game progresses. But I do agree. The California's definitely had definitely not the lion's share of possession, I guess I should say.
Yeah, they've been on the back foot for a lot of the back half of the first half. And the ball is going to end up falling kindly for Baker. But once again, good defending from Cal, able to just dispossess Baker and able to try to turn it the other way. But again, just the passing not on the mark, a little bit too quick as Venetia coming through, makes the tackle. And Seton Hill can just boot it up the field.
Yeah, like I find that a lot of times with California, like when I watch them play, right? Like they do this great defending there. They have a couple good passes, and then they try like that last pass. Like that pass from Katie Burns to Kaylin Thomas could have been on the ground. It didn't have to be in the air there. Like they make things very complicated for themselves, when I think in reality, if they realize they have the ability to be patient, they can be patient. They just live within your limitations, live within your strengths, and you'll find some beauty in that.
I think all I've learned is that I feel like they think that they're obviously this isn't the case, but they're too good, so they have to self-impose some difficulties to make sure that the game stays close.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, because I often feel like I watch these games, I'm like, California is the better team here. Like, if I had to put money on a team, I would put California, But then, like, they make these passes, and you're like, oh, man, she was open. That was the right idea. Like, I know what you were seeing. I saw it, too. But just make it easy for her, Like, it doesn't have to be, like, soup is really tasty, but it's messy, Sometimes you just want a nice, clean, like, I don't know, pancake. Pancake's a pretty clean meal. At least maybe.
I mean, it could be. It depends on who's eating it, I think.
That's true. Depends how much syrup you put on it. That's fair.
Referee blows the whistle. Ball went out of play. And the Vulcans with a throw inside of the Seton Hill territory. 5 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the first half. Header flicked on. Going to end up back at the feet of Marina. Marina just trying to play it forward. A mix between a shot and a pass, trying to find Gibbs and maybe just trying to find an effort of her own. Seton Hill able to deal with it and now have their chance to break up the left-hand side. Ball played forward towards Baker. Baker trying to play that extra pass, but it looks like her and Parga not really on the same page there. Parga has been on the field for, I believe, the entirety of this half, so it seems a little bit out of breath and just was not making that run that Baker wanted her to make.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, John, but I believe a solid 8 of our 11 players on the field have played almost the entire 45 or 40 minutes so far. So we're going to definitely see some tired legs here in the last 4 minutes. Pete Curtis is running these girls until they die, and I'm here for it.
It's a lot. I mean, as someone, like I said, I used to play a lot, and obviously I was never in like peak condition, but even when I was like very, very, very fit, it still is hard to go 20, 30 minutes without wanting to need a break. Yeah. But playing the full 45 and almost the full 90, as like you mentioned, a couple of these girls do, as it looks like it's going to be Parga making her way down this right side, trying to cut back and able to get around California. Parga with the left foot, trying to play into the box, but the Vulcans with numbers, able to get back and able to clear it away.
Yeah, like Venezia here, number 3. She's got to be wicked tired. There are a few positions in the game of soccer that are as exhausting as the winger. Like, you're expected to provide offense for your team while also tracking back and helping out your outside back. It is an endless position of tiredness.
And always running, and always one that is relied upon to be some of the faster players as well. So not only are you running, but you're making like the darting, sprinting runs back and forth across the front line, trying to find space, and also coming back, trying to deal with the other team's wingers and fullbacks as they're trying to set in crosses and stuff. So it is a thankless position, I think.
It really is
for a lot of the teams. And I think so far in this game, she's done a great job. Picked up an assist on that goal. And now just under 3 minutes left in this first half. Seton Hill with another chance to send the ball into the box. It's going to be Gojak with a floated ball towards the back post. It's going to just bounce, take 1 or 2 bounces, make its way out of play. And California smartly let that one go. But, again, another ball that just in and around the box that isn't dealt with.
Yeah, Seton Hill's got some very good set-piece decision-making here, or plays, I guess I should say. Very good balls. Whether it was the low ball to the penalty spot or like that tantalizing bouncing ball to the back post, it just makes you dream as a striker. Oh, only if I could have been there to finish that one home. But yes, they have some very good set-piece plays, indeed. And you're absolutely right. There's no better way to put it. A winger is a thankless position.
Sounds like something that a winger would say to to pick up some approval.
And they deserve it. They deserve it. It's a hard position because, like, if you don't make that run, right, your midfielder who plays you that ball is Romus there to De Glopper, who as started off the game, I believe, as an outside back, is now playing more inward in the middle of the field as like a defensive mid. It's an interesting formation we're going with here. Great tackle by Caitlin Thomas. Yeah,
Thomas able to sniff that pass out and trying to find De Glopper on that far side, and that one just a little bit too tall for her. Standing at 5'3", it's going to be very hard to try to climb up there unless she's Michael Jordan with some hops. It's going to be quite a challenge, but the Vulcans able to win it back, and great hold-up play by Gibbs. And it was Marina that time just trying to find Venezia on this far side, but that pass just left a little bit too far behind and ends up at the feet of Seton Hill.
This is a pretty important game for Marina because with Sims out with the suspension, she has an opportunity to prove her worth here to the team as that attacking midfielder bridging the gap between the defense and the 2 offensive wingers. A lot of weight, a lot of stress must be on her shoulders this game, and I think so far she's played pretty admirably. She's done a very good job. Oh, great effort here by Thomas. Yeah. Oh, brilliant job.
Yeah, Thomas just turning on the jets a little bit and not giving up on the play, able to run all the way down this side, and Thomas with a nice chop back in the turn and able to pass it off, and a floated ball into the box. Gibbs trying to get onto the end of it, but great defending by Seton Hill as we're under a minute, and now we're down to 35 seconds left in this first half. Neither team wanting to concede this late on. The ball played forward and going to end up at the feet of Byrne. Just clearing it up the field, and I think both teams just trying, or at least in California's case, just trying to hold on. 19 seconds left now as the ball played all the way through, and it's Rotoli, and great keeping again by Ouimet, coming out early, trying to cut off the angle and able to make the save on Rotoli.
One last final push here with 6 seconds left. Man, they are tired, but they are fighting. You got to love this, man. This is why we love soccer.
Yeah, Romy is just going to concede the time and going to run it out of play, so that's been a great first half from both teams. And that's why the game's tied at 1. Yeah. California 1, Seton Hill 1. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Thank you.
Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/Vulcans Make a Difference to make your gift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex as we begin the second half of play between California and Seton Hill. The game tied at 1 apiece, and both teams in this game just have had their fair share of chances, have had their fair share of control of the game. I feel like it's gone a little bit more in terms of the Griffins' favor, but all to play for in the second half.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great second half ahead of us, folks. I believe you pointed out a great point here, statistic during the halftime show here, where you said that was Seton Hill's first concession of a goal of any first half this entire season.
Yeah, just it shows you that they come out and play some very hard and just tough defense, and it's hard to break through. But like we talked about, they've conceded 4 goals this season, 2 against Merciers and 2 against Slippery Rock, and all 4 goals have been in the second half of play. So they've been able to hold out for 45, but going into the second half, it seems like so far this season, that is when they've tended to just fall off a little bit. So it's an opportunity for California to take advantage of.
California, what I enjoy like watching them play is they're a great reactionary team. It's a two-sided coin. I guess all coins are two-sided, mind you. But like if they score a goal, as we saw in the first half, they tend to like slightly go into cruise control and like not stab the knife into the heart and finish off the game. But if they get scored on, they often have like this 15-minute period or so, whether it's in the next half or right after the goal, where they're like, all right, let's show them our worth. Let's give them heck. Let's give them a good time, and let's show them that like, hey, we're not ones to be like trotted upon. We're a tough nail to hit in.
Yeah, it's like once they concede, they go out there and prove that you can't just walk all over them. But so far, after their first goal, like you said, they kind of just took the foot off the pedal a little bit. And as we begin the second half, they have their chance to put their foot right back on it.
Big Heart is back in here for the second half. The freshman who played as a winger the first half, she's now playing more center with right inside of, I believe, Kaylin Thomas on the left flank. So this will be interesting.
Vulcans with their first opportunity to play it out of the back in Seton Hill, able to clear it out of play. Nice job by California, able to just get away with it. And Venetia able to come across and intercept that pass. Great just running all around on this far side. And Remus now ball into the space for DeGlopper to run onto, and DeGlopper had a long way to run, but able to do so very well and able to keep the ball in play. DeGlopper just not on the same page that time with Marina. Thought Marina was going to start making that darting run towards the corner, and Marina kind of held up, was just trying to give DeGlopper an option, and that one just went out of play.
Great find by Romeus. Great effort by the Glopper. And again, it's that very last pass by California where they, like, you know that they can do this. You know that they can push and pressure. That you know they can control the ball. But yet they just don't quite communicate when it matters sometimes. And they're a great press. We've won the ball back. Let's control the ball. Let's be patient. We have the ability to do this. Oh.
And Cal just doing a good job at forcing Seton Hill into some just closed some closed areas on the side of the field, as Bromley going to get called for the foul. But it seems like every single time that they are able to get some nice build-up going, it seems like they just trip at the final hurdle. They make the hard passes. They do everything well to get to the point where they have to play that one final ball. And it just seems like after that first goal, they haven't been able to convert on making that final ball count.
But you know they can do it. You know they can do it, and they know they can do it. They know they're a good team. They may be young, but they have the talent to beat this team. And I firmly believe that they will find a second goal this half.
Yeah, and I think that is a good position to be in if you're Cal, as Marina tried to take that free kick quickly, and the referee signaled that not on the spot that he wanted the free kick to be taken in, but I think that is one of the biggest factors for any team to have is hope. Whenever you're playing a game like this, where after you score that first goal, it seemed like your backs were against the wall for a decent chunk of the latter half of the first half of this game, where it seemed like it was all Seton Hill. But like you said, this team, even though they're not very experienced, they do have just a ton of talent, and they have that hope and they have that ability to know that they can get that second goal. Seton Hill now on the attack. It's Parga playing the ball in, and it's going to fall to Rotoli. Rotoli trying to play it back. One extra pass, and just isn't what it took. And a suplex-type motion done in the box, and the Vulcans are going to come away with it. I don't think it seemed like time stood still for a second as there was a fight for it in the box between Roth Ralph of Seton Hill, and I believe it was...
was that Katie Burns or was that Romeus?
I think it was...
Neither?
I think it was Burns in the box.
Burns?
And
okay.
so the Vulcans not going to complain about getting fouled there, and now with their chance to attack, that pass just left a little bit too strong, but good effort once again by Big Hard, just trying to make up for it, trying to win the ball back, but ends up playing that one out of play.
Yeah, when it's the opponent ever has the ball in the 18-yard box, you got to like tippy toe because it gets stressful. You know, like any wrong foot, any wrong leg, penalty. It is the best place to be the attacker, but it's nightmarish for a defender. And overall, I think Katie Burns did lucky there. She can counter Grace's a little bit, but still all the same, good solid tackle. At least I might be slightly biased, but good solid tackle.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being biased a little bit, as Seton Hill going for the long ball and Byrne able to sniff it out and head that one away. Rami's under some pressure, able to get this one forward, trying to find Gilberto. Gilberto going to pull a player to the ground, and again, that is, like you said, it is the spot where a similar foul just happened inside of the box, and that one went against California, or went the way of California, and that one, the same exact thing happened, but it went against California. So not only is it harder for the defenders to be more cautious in the box, it is also just a very awkward spot where things on the field outside of the box are fouls, as a couple players, a few members of either team falling down on that far side. But a couple of things that happen on the field are fouls, but once they happen in the box, there's always just a gray area where the referees don't like to call it because they don't deem it too much of a foul to be called a penalty. Yeah,
it's wishy-washy. Like, you don't want to be the ref that, like, I don't know, sets a precedent that foul is a penalty. You know, you don't want to be the one that writes the rule book. So you, as ref, you don't want to make history. You don't want to be written about the next day. That's how you know you've done a good job as a ref.
It is another task that I think is a very difficult one, but one that referees always get a bad rap, but I feel like once you get a good one, it is very. I think players and fans alike enjoy watching a game where the referee does a fantastic job, as the Vulcans putting on a ton of pressure, and they're going to win the ball back as Venetia able to just cut down onto Adams on that far side and ends up getting it off of her out of play. So the Vulcans with a throw deep inside of the Griffin territory.
When you are youthful and somewhat inexperienced, often the best thing to do is to press, right? Because then you're not relying on beautiful control build-up play. You can win the ball and steal it in an already tenacious area, an area where you don't have to create the chance because the chance was given to you by the other team because you fought for it. And Gibraltar here in the middle has done an amazing job at the beginning of this half, bruising the back line of Seton Hill and letting her presence be known. Sure, giving away a couple fouls, but absolutely within her right to do that.
Yeah, she's going to get called for the foul that time. And Padsy Orko for Seton Hill going to call everyone up the field, just try to buy some space for her team, but great win in the middle of the field by Bromley. Bromley able to win the second ball. Venetia able to turn away, 2-on-2 going the other way. Venetia going to just take it herself on the right. Venetia working way into the box, just trying to play it across, nearly with a good ball, but able to win it back. Venetia sets it up perfectly for Gilberto, and Gilberto's shot all just slices across of it just wide.
It's one of those where yeah, it's a shot, but almost ends up being a cross, and Marina, number 10 over there, must be thinking to herself, man, if only I would have followed the ball, that would have been a dink in at the far post. The goalkeeper would have had no shot. Don't worry, she'll learn, and she'll get better. That's the beauty of seeing a mistake, seeing your shadow where it should have been, and being all right, I'll be where my shadow was, and now next time it'll be me, not my shadow.
Yeah, it's just one of those plays where you don't expect the ball to end up at your feet, but again, it's if you would have just kept running as the Vulcans win the ball back again. Gilberto plays it inside to Venetia. Venetia trying to cut it back onto the right foot, just loses a bit of a great play from the Vulcans, able to work it wide now to DeGlopper. DeGlopper cuts it back, just trying to set it up, able to find Bromley. Bromley with the left foot, just floating it towards that back post, and Sino able to clear it away, but Bromley wins it right back, and the ball's going to come off of her out of play. It's going to be a goal kick for Seton Hill, but Seton Hill back on their heels, and California just reestablishing the pressure they had early on.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of this. Like that last 30 minutes of that second half, I was like, where was the first 15 minutes when you guys were forcing them to eat? And now here we are, we're taking them to dinner, and there we go. Great job by DeGlopper there. A strong, aggressive tackle on their right flank. This is what we need. We need aggression.
I think just maybe that 15, 20-minute break definitely just improving everyone, I think, on both teams, but California just able to take advantage of that a bit more as the ball played into the corner towards Rotoli. Great recovery defense by DeGlopper, and DeGlopper able to come across and send that one out of play. Rotoli able to get by her, but DeGlopper gets back, gets in her position, able to slide tackle that one out.
Yeah, she left a good bruise on that one. That was a very solid, clean, no foul given tackle. It was good. When you're a defender, you will get beat, but you should never give up. And DeGlopper never gave up on that play. Again.
The ball just falling through a couple of players, and California going to come away with it. Great use of the body that time by Gilberto, able to just let the ball roll into space, but an awkward pass, and DeGlopper isn't going to be able to get to it. It's going to be Parga working way in, but DeGlopper again comes back and makes another great tackle, bails out the fellow number 11, Gilberto. And Gilberto with an opportunity, another good tackle, this time by Maver of Seton Hill. And Maver trying to work her way around, but Romai's going to come back in and force a foul to be given against her. So both teams maybe playing a little bit sloppy going down the stretch. I think this is kind of the opportunity for both teams to just, where you see some of that end-to-end action where no one team is controlling it.
I wish you guys could see what John's putting up with here in the booth. I'm over here like fist pumping. I have a huge smile on my face. I love this type of scrappy soccer. Do I think California shouldn't play this way? Absolutely. But am I entertained? Am I sweating? Absolutely as well. I love this type of soccer. Gilberto has done a great job when she receives the ball, looking up and trying to find someone.
Like she just did right there, she was able to get it through to Venetia, and Venetia has a lot to do as kind of alone up there, but able to get it back, able to find Bromley, and Bromley able to work it through everyone. Great control as Gilberto just caught between wanting to make the pass and wanting to take the shot, because it looked like she had a decent idea there as Venetia kind of just snuck in behind, but that one left way too strong, and that one's going to end up going out of play. And it looks like Seton Hill going to make a few substitutions in particularly towards the front line. Two players going off in the front line for Seton Hill, and California going to make a substitution of their own as well.
That was Marina coming off for number, what was that?
I think it's 12. I think Mackenzie Johnson.
Mackenzie Johnson. I actually don't know much about her. This will be like a little, preview. I haven't seen her yet this year, so this will be interesting. I think Marina did all right that shift. She was a little bit of an aberration or a ghost during that shift there for the first 10 minutes of a half. We are playing without what I would call an out-and-out striker. Right now, our front three consist of Venezia, who's clearly a winger, Gilberto, who's also clearly a winger, and we have yet to have an out-and-out striker to finish off these chances that we're creating. I wonder if freshman Emily Warneck is injured this game, because I do think she would fit very well up there up front with those two aggressive wingers.
Yeah, if not, wouldn't be surprised if we see her come on in the second half, as Johnson now able to get it out wide towards Bickhart. Bickhart trying to find a player inside, but that one cleared high into the sky. It's going to take a couple bounces. It's going to end up at the feet of Bromley. Bromley with a strike. And that one, able to get it through the crowd, but not strong enough, as Paziorko able to come out and able to make the save.
Yeah, when the ball's bouncing like that, right outside the 18, you got the aerial ability just to eye that up and be like, you know what? Hey, you only live once. You got to take that shot. You got to. something you dream about as a midfielder. Because if you get that clean, it's gonna curve, it's gonna defy physics, and it's gonna find the back of the net. So of course, have a rip.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, if it's me, I'm taking that every time.
Absolutely, touche.
As Seton Hill now trying to play out from the back, great ball out wide onto this left-hand flank. And great work by Tico, able to get forward and able to get it into the midfield. And a decent turn made by Rain, but ran straight into Seton Hill, and Romais gave her a few words on the back end as that ball ends up trailing just out of play, going in favor of Seton Hill.
You got to be careful. You can't talk back to the ref too much. Last game, Sims got 2 yellow cards. When, yes, I think the first card was very soft, without a doubt in my opinion, right? But I'm not the ref. However, regardless, when you talk back to the ref, you are playing with fire. You are. And sometimes you got to say your piece. You're not going to be able to go to bed at night if you didn't say what you wanted to say, right? But you got to know, when to poke and when just to play on and keep your head up and keep moving.
Yeah, you got to know when to toe the line very well.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I've definitely had chances where I probably have said some stuff to some referees that has gotten me in a lot of trouble, but it was just I had to get it off my chest, like you said. But I think it's an art form to try to be able to talk like that. Is Thomas able to just break out that pass, and Thomas showing off that speed once again, working her way up this left-hand side. Not a ton of players in support, just trying to get it through, trying to find Johnson, who's making that run towards the corner. Good recovery defense by Seton Hill, but California able to break out of their own half and showing it up with a little bit of purpose as Thomas's throw able to get it off of the head of Bickhart, trying to find Johnson on the flick on, and Seton Hill shield that one out of play.
I would love to see Kaylin Thomas's statistics on minutes played versus minutes not played this year, because she is yet to be subbed off at home this entire season. The fact that she has energy to make that sprinting run all the way up the left flank here in the 60th minute of a highly contested scrummy match, it is absolutely remarkable.
And just under half an hour left to go in the second half. California putting on some pressure inside of the Seton Hill box, but Seton Hill trying to break out of it. And Bickhart just misses on the ball. I think she just got a little bit too scared. It seemed like she had a ton of spaces that the ball from the keeper just came to her, but just misses it. California throw, and Seton Hill win it straight back. And Seton Hill have their chance to break now with Rain trying to play it forward, and is going to be able to find her target. Great pass from Rauerhoff, able to get it onto that outside towards Carr. It's going to be forced out of play by California, but quick throw. California defensively still very strong. Carr now working her way down the outside, cross in, comes off of one member of Cal, and the second member able to clear it up, and Venetia finally able to hold it up and able to get it till Gilberto. So 2-on-4 is California just trying to make something out of nothing, and I see you waving just to calm it down, and it seems like maybe if she just stood up and tried to play it back to one of her teammates, it could have been a much better opportunity, but California lose out on the ball once again.
Sometimes it's totally fine to play with statistics. Be like, all right, 4-2, we can take them. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta keep them on their toes, sure. But in moments like that, where Venenza has already shown her cards, made her run past the back line, right? And you know she's covered. You know the ball is not going to get there. One, she may be speedy, but two, she's played pretty much the entire game, and she's not, that tall of an individual, right? The chances of her winning that ball, I would say, are 15%, maybe max, right? So take your time. You're an experienced player. You've done so well getting that ball in that position. Just breathe, look up, and find a back pass. Maintain possession. You have the ability to do so.
And again, it's another opportunity where California have the opportunity. They just seem to not be able to make that final ball as Seton Hill worked their way inside of the Vulcan box. Good defending by Cal, able to prevent the corner from happening, and you're now just trying to come back and defend, but Seton Hill still maintain possession with Molotores, but California able to clear that one up the field again. Bromley just getting it forward. It's going to end up going out of play just inside of the Vulcan half, and Seton Hill going to bring on 2 more substitutes.
overall, like, this half has been a marked improvement from the last 30 minutes of the first half for California, right? Like, they've taken the possession for the most part to Seton Hill. They've pressed them. They've made them cough up the ball in dangerous areas, and they've done so great this half. The goal will come. Just believe. Like, look at this. This is great offense here. Again, don't push too hard.
And Johnson trying to find Venetia on this right-hand side. Oh my God! As Moyer just trying to fire that one forward and just smacks off the face of Bighart, who falls straight to the ground. And I mean, when you're that close to someone, it is so hard to get out of the way of that. And hopefully everything is all right, because that is a tough hit. As Bighart gets straight to her feet, I commend her for that, because I know if that were me, I don't know. I'd have been down for a while. Cause
I'd be seeing stars for sure.
I mean, that's 40, 50 miles per hour just straight to the head, but
from like 5 yards away.
Yeah, there's just no time to get out of the way of there. She's gonna make her way off the field, able to walk off on her own power. So hopefully she's all right there. And it looks like
Elwood,
I believe number 21, Kaylee Elwood, going to come into the game for California in her place. And that stopped the clock with 26:58 left to go here in the second half. So a ton of play, a ton of time left, and a lot more game to play, as it's going to be a drop ball for Seton Hill.
I hope Bighart's able to come back on, because her and Kaylin Thomas up there on the left flank have done a great job of, like, the freshman duo. Like, sure, they may not have a lot of experience, but I thought this game they've done a great job at pressing, both of them combined as a duo. Elwood, as an addition to this game, will be... I talked to John briefly about this in halftime. I think Elwood is one of California's best players. On the ball, she's very patient. She's able to find players. She's able to poke these passes through, just like we saw there, and create dangerous opportunities. I just hope that California is able to find an out-and-out striker here from who they have playing, because Venencia is just tenacious out there. Look at her run.
Yeah, she's all over the field, and Seton Hill doing a good job at just trying to get out of the back, but California just forcing a little bit too much on their plate, and Elwood trying to back down to the defender. It's going to go off of Seton Hill, out of play. And California slowly growing more and more, I believe, into this second half. It seemed like they were quick to start the first half of play, and it seems like the second half has been under their control for a large majority of it, but it's been a little bit of a slower ramp up time. And
it's like, for me, like the second half. Like, sometimes you read a book because one of your friends told you it's a good book, right? And you read it and you read it and you read it. You're plowing through it. You're showing the book who's boss. And the entire time you're like, this book really isn't that good, right? And that's kind of how this possession's been for Cal U this entire half. Like, they've been dominating, they've been pressing. Seton Hill's been under distress, but they just haven't reaped any sort of reward from it. Like, there hasn't been an opportunity. I've been like,
great move by Seton Hill, able to get around everyone. The shot, just too much left on her plate. Carr able to get around Thomas and able to get around Byrne, but when she had her chance on net, she just couldn't take it, and that one just went high and out of play. And I think that's been the best moment so far of the second half, the biggest opportunity from either team, and Carr just didn't even test we met on that shot.
Takes a lot to shut me up, and I was like, all right, I gotta let John have this one, because there's a high probability that they're gonna score off of that. That was a great opportunity by Seton Hill.
Yeah, and Seton Hill, if they don't go on to win this game, we're gonna look back at that opportunity as just such a big miss, as California able to win back the possession. And I think if you're the Vulcans, that is a wake up call, because they've just been so strong on the defensive end this entire game, but just moments like that, you cannot let that happen, because if you're playing maybe a stronger opposition to Seton Hill, most teams are probably going to be able to bury that opportunity, but California get away with it and now have their chance to work their way up the field and get a decent attacking possession of their own, as De Galopper with the throw. That one cleared away, and Bromley showing some tired legs as that one, unable to get to that one, but the clearance doesn't go that far, and the pass from Morton just way too strong and erratic, and that one going to end up back to the Seton Hill keeper.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, I mean, these girls got to be so tired, just so entire and so incredibly tired. This entire half, especially this front three of Gibraltar, Venezia, and then well Bickhart until she had to get subbed off from that wicked headshot. Have just been constantly pressing. Like, man, it's crazy because they're great tackle by Kaylin Thomas again. Like, Seton Hill cannot sit on the ball. They don't have time to breathe. But we just want a shot on target. We want someone to take the ball and go, you know what? This is my chance. Just screw it and take a shot. Just take, make yourself a meal and eat it. I don't know. Like,
yeah, just force them to make the mistake because if you just get a shot on target, anything can happen, as we saw in the men's game against Malone. I believe it was last week where McNeely took a shot from about 25, 30 yards out, and it was a shot that had no purpose making its way into the net, but the keeper made a bad read on it. It hit off of his hands into the net, and it gave the Vulcans a 3-1 lead going into half. And so I feel like if you're California here, I think to win any game, it takes a little bit of luck, and
we deserve it.
I mean, that one is a lot of luck, but
yeah,
you have to get yourself into opportunities to have the luck fall into your hand. And so far, California just have not been able to get any sort of. They've had some good attacking possession in terms of where they have the ball, but they haven't been able to just get a shot on target and just force a mistake to be made out of Seton Hill.
The great quote by Wayne Gretzky. I'll let you handle this one here, Johnny.
As Seton Hill trying to cross this one into the box, and great defending once more by Morton, able to clear that one out of play. The throw going to be taken quickly. It's going to end up at the feet of Springer. Springer and Carr trying to link up on that far side, and Springer sends that one way too high for Carr to pull in.
I think right now for California, it is important for them to remember that, look, there's not 5 minutes left in the game. There's 21 minutes left, right? We've played only 70 minutes. Sure, 70 minutes is a long time, but you have 20 minutes to find that deciding goal. There's no reason to become helter-skelter here and just thrust the ball up the court. You have the time and you have the ability, as we've seen this entire half, to take it to them. I would imagine, I'm not the coach here, but Pete Curtis has got to be lining up subs for Bella, Gibraltar, or Venezia here soon, because they've just been running and running and running, as we see here.
Yeah, there was a stoppage in play there as Springer for Seton Hill going to get a yellow card and going to get taken off of the field on that far side. As I think it looked like she had a few choice words for the referee, and so we've talked about you gotta know what to say and how much you're allowed to say before the referee decides to make the decision to book you. And she crossed that line, and she had to be taken off of the field, and she obviously not really happy about something. I honestly couldn't tell what was really happening on the other side, but into the game for her was number 44 Kylie Cotenay, who's now on the ball now, and good work that time by Byrne, able to shield her off and let the ball roll out of play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there on the field right now. Fair enough, right? But I think overall the ref has been pretty solid this game. So there have been times where I've been playing, all right, this is rough, right? This is a little whack, right? But I don't think the ref has done anything that I've been all right, I want to get a yellow card and I want to say something back to him. But again, I'm not down there. I'm not on the battlefield. I'm not sweating. I'm not breaking my bones. I'm not bruising. So fair enough, She had some piece to say and she said it. Fair enough. I sometimes applaud that. It depends. It really depends.
The referee called the play back there as there was a foul and just tried to see if Seton Hill had the advantage. That Seton Hill able to play this one into the box, going to take a bounce before we met. Is going to come out and pick that one up herself. Another ball where, if it were me, I would like to see her come out a bit more aggressive and try to make the catch before it's even able to take a bounce to begin with. And she boots that one high up the field, headed away by Ramaciotti. And now Seton Hill under some pressure that time by Elwood. And the ball is going to end up out of play. California throw, 19-20 left to go here in the second half of play. Both teams still looking for that breakthrough, looking to just break the deadlock here. And they're not going to do it with that, as the ball played forward toward just into some space, and Seton Hill able to come out and just get the ball back, able to work their way now back up this left-hand side.
Yeah, this is I wouldn't say peculiar for me by any means. Maybe that's not the word I want to be using for this. But like Pete Curtis must be Oymet will come up to gather this, I think, for sure. He must be a little confused right now, where like he has a lot of his experience, more veteran players out on the field, right? And they've done very good at winning back the ball and having possession and pressing, right? But like within all this like mess, if you will, and this great possession here, a great turn again, right? You want like I'd almost like want to see a couple subs here, because like these girls have to be tired. Just tired. Like just throw some cards at the deck and see what happens. You know, you don't know what comes out. A little bit of chaos can go a long way.
Yeah, like you said, especially with the forward line, they've definitely put in the miles today, running up and down and all around, and maybe with and the defense that has been having to deal with them all game. Maybe just forcing them, just getting someone into the game with fresh legs that isn't tired, and just forcing them to catch up to you, and just causing them all sorts of problems, as California does finally send a member towards the midfield, waiting to be substituted at the next stop. But California with some good possession now, and a good attempt that time by Morton, just trying to play it through, but Seton Hill's defense is strong once again, able to clear this one, and Seton Hill slow to get numbers forward, but California with plenty of players back, so the ball just floating around in this midfield in some pretty undangerous areas. As Seton Hill are able to play it back to their keeper, and they're now just trying, or not the keeper, but their center back, and just trying to just feel out some possession and just trying to work it around, and able to do so out of this left side, but a touch too strong. Bromley comes over and able to win it back for Cal.
Yeah, like the old mantra I always say when my girl and I are watching the Premier League or a professional soccer match is like, okay, a 4-star player is still a 4-star. Great move there by 38. That was a great little nutmeg. A 4-star player is a 4-star player, but a tired 4-star player is never as good as a fresh-legged, hungry 3-star player. You got to let the 3-star players eat, especially when you have unlimited substitutions in Division II soccer. Like, before I started to cover Cal U or California here, I had no idea that in Division II NCAA soccer, you have unlimited substitutions. Use that to your advantage. 16 comes back on here. Is that Hansen?
Yeah, Hansen comes on, and Bromley going to make her way off the field. A well-deserved rest for her after the display she's put on this game. Great game for her and for a lot of this Vulcan team. And she now has a chance to just relax and maybe look on and try to help in this last 16 minutes or so of the game. And she definitely does not look the happiest to be subbed off. And I can understand it. You see it a lot of times with players where they feel like they're playing well. They feel like they're just in the groove. They have the feel of the game with them, and they don't like to be subbed out. And
yeah, I agree with that. Like, I do. Like, as a player, you're like, you always want to play. If you're a great player, you want to play. The word play is in player. You want to play, right? But I think oftentimes, especially with like this idea of unlimited substitutions, that 5-minute break of where you get to sit back and almost be like your own internal coach and like not feel like this constant pressure. Sit back, look at the game, look at, okay, this is how Seton Hill's playing. This is how they're moving, right? That gives you 5 minutes to go like, okay, where can I, next time I come on, where is my impression? Where is my next step going to be? It gives you a chance to like reconcile with your thoughts and think about your next move when you come on. A 5-minute rest goes a long way.
Yeah, I think it just does such a good job at recharging the batteries a little bit, because these players have been just training and working out together and practicing for a while, but still, even then, you're only a few weeks into the season. Not everyone on the team is like, in a perfect world, everyone would be, but most of the players are not at perfect peak fitness in terms of their ability to run. And so you just having that opportunity just to take a couple-minute break, just to sit down, get something to drink, and then just be able to have another perspective on the game, it really helps. And maybe a little bit of rest can help Bromley and the team as they try to just get something else out of this game, as the ball forward again is just not on the mark. You're going to end up out of play, and Seton Hill making 2 more substitutions, and we talked about, Seton Hill have a huge roster.
They do.
It's about 40 girls on the team is what it seems like, and like you talked about, they have unlimited substitutions, and they're using it to their effect. They're switching out their forward line a lot. It's like a constant rotation, about 5-6 minutes per line.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to what you'd see in hockey, where you just have 5-6 minutes per line, and as soon as that line's run its course, they're sending out 2 more to come in there, replace them, and just get some fresh legs onto the field.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like this game is wild to me because, like, for me, there's one thing that Cal U is truly missing positionally as a team right now is they have fabulous wingers, both with Gilberto and Venezia, who's played pretty much the entire game. But Gilberto's finally getting her break, as I believe Sophia Gibbs is coming on to replace her. Gibbs is also a phenomenal winger. But who they're really missing this game, and I don't know if she's injured, I don't know what's going on, but it's Emily Warnack, the freshman, who's finished off some pretty solid goals so far this year for California. They really do miss just that player that just takes a rep and goes in. Like, for lack of a better reference, Erling Haaland would be a good example of someone who's just in a good position all the time, doesn't touch the ball a lot, but can just finish off that like 25% chance. Because that's what they just need right now. They need that reward. There you go. Good effort by Elwood.
Yeah, and the Vulcans putting on some pressure. They're going to make another substitution. It seems like a lot of the time in this second half, just looking at maybe their formation a little bit on that goal kick that was taken, it seems like they've dropped to a lot more of a defensive, at least 4 defenders, but just 2 strong central defensive midfielders, and just letting Venezia and now Gibbs up front kind of just run around and just force the other team into some bad positions, as Venezia does a great job able to get it out. And the shot that time by Marina just blocked and went up in the air. Now Seton Hill have their chance to go the other way, this time with Rothrow. Good hold-up play from Seton Hill, able to just get it back to the team, try to recycle possession, but just some rush passes once again from both teams. And Seton Hill now with the control on that right side. Great show of pace by Ramasiadi on the outside, able to win a throw for Seton Hill.
I think you hit the nail on the head with how Cal U is playing so far, like in the last 5-10 minutes at least. It's just like living by the mantra of like letting Venezia and now Gibbs just cook. And sometimes that works. Like I love watching a good cook in the kitchen. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that makes me hungry, right? But like sometimes that cook needs good ingredients. They need a chance. They need a good cleaver. They need a good cutting board to make that meal all come together. And right now, you're putting a lot of stress on those cooks. Well done, Venezia. There we go.
And again, she is going to get thrown to the ground. And I mean, I agree. It's always nice and it's always fun to watch just someone. You give them the ball and then you just let them go to work. It's like feeding Carmelo Anthony in the isolation post. Just let him do whatever he wants. And it's nice to see that sometimes. But it is, I think, better for the team as a whole to just try to get everyone involved, because whenever you're able to work together as a unit, it is just so much easier for the team. Obviously, you need players to just have that, like, be able to cook in those instances, in instances where they're able to turn something out of nothing. But I think just living and dying by that play style is not something that, especially in a sport like this, you would like to see, as California now with some good possession around the blocks to Glopper with just a heavy touch, and Seton Hill able to tackle it away from her. And good job that time once again by Rain, able to work it out. She was surrounded by 4 members of the Vulcans, and
she made a great run there. After she gave out the ball, Rain to the middle of the field, she had so much space there. Just unfortunately, her teammate wasn't able to find her, but great run there by Rain.
Yeah, and again, there's just, you can see the tiredness waning on both teams. It seems like a lot of the players just out of gas, and it's going to have to be something special here in the last 9.5 minutes for either team to break the deadlock and just try and win this game. But Seton Hill with their chance now, it's going to be Moloritis going to the outside, just trying to cross it in. That one going to come off of her. Great defending once again by DeGlopper, coming back, recovering, forcing it off of her, and winning a goal kick for Cal.
All right, John, I have a question for you. Do you have a player of the match so far? by chance, like out of the let's say 80 plus minutes we've seen, 81 minutes here, is there any player on California and or on Seton Hill that's really stood out to you this evening?
I mean, I think I wouldn't say a player, but more of just a position group as California under some pressure. I just think the midfielders for both teams have just done such a good job at not only controlling the game, but just being able to just force the issues at times, but then also coming back and just being there defensively and just preventing the other team from just shutting them down, as Rain with a strike from way outside and we met lets that one go. So had that one covered all the way, but finally just some warning signs, something from either team just showing, hey, we're still attacking and we still got this. And
she needs her shoe shined here real quick, and then she'll be ready to roll again. But yeah, that gives us a nice little break. Yeah, I think both Romius and Bromley have done a great job in the center of the park for California here. And then I think Rain, who's played probably more of like an attacking midfielder here for Seton, has done a brilliant job, like you said, in the first half, being in the right place at the right time throughout this entire game.
Yeah, I think Romius and Bromley are doing a great job for Cal.
Indeed.
And I think another one, just again, Venetia, I think her work today would make the Energizer buddy just tired from just seeing her running around all the time, just going after everything. And again, she's done a great job, and a lot of these forward players from either team's doing a great job, as it's going to be Mulleridis again, just trying to get back, cutting it all the way across the box, and there forever, and Weemet comes out and makes a huge save. Weemet with the positioning coming across and denies Rain of another goal, and Rain with a turn, just floating the ball into the box, cut out by Cal, and California clear it up the field. And I mean, that just saved the game right there. Another great save by Emily Weemet.
I hate to quote a meme, but I love the meme. Call an ambulance, but not for me. That was a great save there by Weemet there. Like, oh man, my heart was in my throat. I was ready to be like, all right, this is the backbreaker. This is the game here. But Weemet said, not today. This is my story. This is my chapter. This is my paragraph. Great play by Weemet.
And we talked about it before when the defense and having a goalkeeper that they know is always going to be there to bail them out if they make a mistake. And it wasn't even a mistake, but just great play from Seton Hill, able to just get around the corner on the outside as California under some pressure trying to get it out. But we met just such a good positioning there, able to read the ball all the way, able to come across the net, and able to just cut off the angle and force the save to be made, as California now just trying to break their way up the field, just trying to dig themselves out and trying to force the issue with the last 6 minutes and 15 seconds left. But Seton Hill have ideas of their own. But
oh man, any goal from either team right now would be such a backbreaker. It really would be. I mean, I can't see this game. If either team scored in the last 6 minutes here, I mean, I guess it's kind of a given, right? It's in the dusk of the game. It's in the twilight hours. If you score now, the game's probably over. It's probably decided. But especially with this game, it's just been a cardio match. I mean, back and forth. California players, most of them, a lot of them, like solid 8, 9, maybe 7 of our players have played for like 80 to 100% of this game. They must be tired. It'd be such a dishonesty to them if they were to give up a goal now after such a remarkable effort to maintain this stalemate.
Yeah, I think, like you said, even though it probably is a given, I just think if one team is able to break through, then I don't think there's any way that another chance of that caliber arises for either team.
Absolutely
to try
not.
to equalize. So, I mean, I think that just puts on a ton of extra pressure as Rain trying to do some link-up play, and we met quick off of her line, able to come out and get that one for herself, and it looks like she's more than willing to slow things down here.
Yeah.
As we've just run under the 5-minute mark of this second half, and her punt way high in the air. It's going to be won by California, and Venetia going to be on the end of it, and
we have some
I don't know how
numbers
she's going to be. I don't know how she's continuing to run the way that she does.
Yeah, someone get the ice bath ready for her, man. She's had a hell of a game. Yes! A corner. Let's go.
Finally for Cal.
Let's go.
The ball played forward towards Gibbs, and that one forced out of play, and now California have their chance. We've seen the set pieces for today for both teams being the kind of the shaky point
Yeah.
As it's going to be, I think it's,
Elwood? Is this Elwood? No, it's not. Is it Elwood?
well, the corner taken into the box and trying to find someone. Great header away by Seton Hill, but Thomas able to get it back out wide, and California still have a chance to send it back in. That cross just too fast and too strong across the ground. It was Elwood on that far side on the set piece, and California had one strike, but the second one just unable to get anything going on it.
I mean, it's one of those games where you just like, because they're playing more or less a 4-3-1-2, which is like with Marina playing as a very deep lying false nine, you really do lack that knife's edge up front where you have like these great cardio, great skilled machines as your wingers, right? With Venezia, Gibbs, and Gilbolter, right? But they have no one to pass to and like finish off all their hard work and all their hard effort here. It's been a great game by California. It really has been, especially the second half.
Yeah, both teams, even though there hasn't been goals, it seems like it's been a more controlled effort from both teams as Rain able to round the corner, but good recovery defense by Romy is able to come back and able to help out and pick up for her central defender, and DeGlopper just going to just heal that one out of play. 2:48 left to go here in the second half, and I think at this point you want to push forward, but I think more than anything you need, like, you're just doing everything you can to not concede.
Yeah, you're just gonna take that point. I mean, I know PSAC doesn't do a point structure for points, for wins, losses, and ties, but sometimes that 1 point is almost a small victory in itself. But you don't stop until the final whistle.
Good link-up play for California, trying to get it forward and showing off the one-touch football, and Gibbs is through on net. Gibbs has Venezia on the back post. If she's able to find her, Gibbs trying to cut it back, but still has the ball in her possession. And it just comes awkwardly off of Hansen's foot, and I think Gibbs just overthought it because she had Venezia on that far side. All she had to do was play it across, and I just think the moment got to her a little bit.
Oh.
DeGlopper going to get called for the foul as she pushed into the backside of Molotores there on right here on our near side, and that was it for California. That was the moment.
Yeah, like that was the moment where like when we played Lock Haven here and we won 2-1. Like we finally beat them after like I think 8 years of losing to Lock Haven. Right, it was a remarkable performance by the Cal U girls. Right, but in that game, Elwood played a through ball to Veronica Warneck, and the Red Sea just parted. She was on her way, and like that's the difference between like Warneck was like, okay, like this is my moment to shine, right, and didn't let it get to her. Gibbs did a great job there controlling it. That was a handball.
They're actually going to call a foul against Seton Hill.
Wow.
As they're going to say Rothrauf was holding on to the back of Hannah Morton. And, I mean, Hannah Morton looked like it, like you said, looked like it was a handball, and she might have gotten away with it. Yeah. But
take your time. There we go.
Like I said, that one-touch play just to work up the field is now we're under a minute to go here, and California have their chance to go. Thomas out wide on the left side, and Thomas trying to show off the pace and trying to get around her defender.
Kept it in. Brilliant job by Thomas here. All 90 minutes she's been playing, man. I wouldn't have the energy to do what she's doing out there right now.
Yeah, it's going to fall to
20 seconds left.
Hansen trying to get it forward. And Venezia right there. That one's going to get past a couple of them. And DeGlopper putting on some pressure, but a foul's going to be made, and the ball's going to end up out of play. And I think that's going to be the end of the time here at the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex, as there is now 2 balls on the field, and I think both teams just conceding the fact that is the end of the game. Any final thoughts?
I mean, good defensive performance by California. Great pressing. I think that's the biggest marked improvement from the Edinburgh game. In the Edinburgh game, they let Edinburgh come at them, right? When I think without a doubt in my mind they were the better player. But at the end of the night tonight, they're like, okay, at the very least, Seton Hill isn't going to come at us. We're going to take it to Seton Hill. And they did that. They did a remarkable job. I would say they deserved the win, but did they get a shot on target in the second half?
I don't think so.
I don't think they got a shot. If you don't get a shot on target, you don't deserve the win.
Yeah, I think both teams letting the spoils go here. We're at the end of the game here at the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. California won, Seton Hill won. From everyone here at CUTV, thank you very much for watching. From our producers Gary Smith, Nate Kurtz, and JJ Robinson, from my broadcast partner Owen Leeson, my name is John Sape. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time here on CUTV. Good night, California.